calling this meeting number 2 of the 2026 Democratic Party of Hawaii Convention Rules Committee to order. My name is Jesse Suki. We have a new attendee today. She's a new member, but not new to anyone who's been in the party, Ann Freed. Are you signed on, Ann? Oh, Ann didn't sign on. Okay, she was added to the committee. In any case, I want to recognize our Vice Chair, Renee Rabb, for her assistance and service to the committee. Before we begin, I want to thank all of you for volunteering your time and participating in the process. The Rules Committee plays an important role in reviewing proposed amendments to the party's governing documents and ensuring that convention process is conducted fairly, transparently, and in accordance with the party's constitution, bylaws, and standing rules. This meeting is being conducted pursuant to the 2026 convention standing rules. Notice of this meeting was provided according to party requirements, including posting on the party calendar and distribution of the agenda and meeting materials. Tonight's meeting is being conducted virtually by Zoom webinar. Committee members, administrators, and scribes are participating as panelists. Other delegates and party members may attend as webinar attendees. At this time, I will ask for a roll call and confirmation of quorum.
So starting off with Mike Goloyu Sr.
Here.
Chair Jesse Suki.
Here.
Member Donna Domingo.
Here.
Member Richard Oshiro.
Here.
Member Martha Randolph.
Here.
Member Anthony Makana Paris.
Here.
Member John Chinen.
Present.
Member Kate Stanley. Member Kate Stanley. I see her on, and I know she was.
Yeah, she's on mute.
Yeah, Kate. I'll just mark you down as yes. We can see your face there. Member Troy Hashimoto. Member Troy Hashimoto. Not present. Okay. Member Abby Simmons.
Here. I hope you guys can hear me tonight.
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you.
Gorgeous, Aggie.
Thank you.
Member Linda Chong.
Here.
Thank you. Elizabeth Holmes, or Member Elizabeth Holmes.
Here.
Vice Chair Renee Rabb.
Here.
Okay. Member Elton Fukumoto. Member Elton Fukumoto. Okay. Member Michael Goloyu Jr.
Present.
Member Eileen Wada. Member Eileen Wada. Not present. Okay. Member Micah Kalama. Member Micah Kalama. Present. And then finally, Member Ann Freed. Member Ann Freed. Okay, now present. Okay, Chair, you have 13 members of your committee present and 4 absent.
Thank you. The record should reflect that quorum is present. Under the committee meeting rules, quorum for the Rules Committee is 13 appointed members, and no voting may take place without quorum. A few procedural reminders before we proceed. Only appointed committee members may vote. Committee members seeking recognition to speak should use the raise hand feature and wait to be recognized by the chair. Members may speak twice on each question for no more than 3 minutes per speech, unless the committee adopts additional limits on debate. Under the standing rules, amendments must be submitted in writing through the Zoom chat. Scribes will assist with entering amendments into the working document. Please also remember that discourteous or insulting speech is out of order and may result in loss of debate privileges or removal if repeated. Tonight's agenda was sent out. I put a link of the minutes in the chat, and it's also in the agenda. If you haven't had a chance to look at the minutes, please do so. I also want to emphasize that the draft report circulated in advance that we're going over today is a working draft prepared to facilitate committee discussion. It does not predetermine whether the committee will approve, amend, reject, or take no action on any proposal except for the ones we have already approved in our last meeting. With that, we'll proceed to item 2 on the agenda. I'll give folks a minute to look at it, a few minutes, because you may not have found it. It's in the folder in the website, but I just shared the link.
Chair, this is Kate Stanley. I'm on my cell phone, so I'm having trouble bringing everything up. Can you tell me what item 2 is that we are next going to take up?
We're now looking at the agenda.
I know. Can you tell me what the second?
Oh, I'm sorry.
what we
We're looking at the what do you call minutes?
Okay.
I have concern on the using the committee rules list as for our votes, because it has our telephone numbers and email addresses.
Oh, good point. I will fix that. That file is also open and available since it's in that public folder. So yeah, I probably should not make it available. So we'll fix that on 2 fronts. What I'll do instead, if you folks can see the rules committee list, and it's opening up to the tab where the votes were taken. If the committee's okay with that, I'll just paste that into the final minutes, if that's okay, as attachments. Then we won't have your names and emails. I mean, your emails, but it'll have your names. Yeah. Any further changes to the minutes?
Chair, Donna Domingo.
Yes, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The adjournment, it says 8:50. I believe it should be 7:50.
That is correct. Thank you. Corrected. Any further changes? Hearing none, minutes are approved with the copying and pasting of the votes. That is the link here now without the addresses. I will do that. Thank you. Moving on, we are back to our report that we were looking at. The next item on the report is the party-run presidential primary. This is the proposal that we sent back to Nina Morita, who was the maker of this submission, to comply with the rules. And she did. And what she sent back was this, very thorough. So we still have the part that she added here, which I added to the report. And she went through and she addressed each of the issues line by line. And what I did was I dropped that into our report, which you're looking at now. Let me zoom that in a bit for folks. I dropped it in here and I have impacts and justification. What's the pleasure of the committee?
Forgive me,
I s-
Jesse, is this on our shared website? And if it is, can you just tell me how to get from your beautiful minutes, what link I need to press on to get it? Because I need to have a larger version on my computer for me to read it.
You can look at it Let's see. I'll drop a link for you to look at the report.
Oh, in the chat? That would be great.
Yeah, I'll just drop it in the chat.
Bless you. Thank you so much.
That's the link.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I see Liz Holmes has her hand raised. You're recognized, Liz?
Yeah, so I'm wondering, is this um, and maybe I might be a little bit confused, but is this the party one that was similar to the one in California, the PPP, where it like selects who I think is the
Liz,
one we used last time?
so Liz, before we proceed with that, does anyone want to make a motion so we can have discussion? No
Yeah,
motion?
as soon as you give us access to the link, because Abby and me, we clicked on the link and what we got was you need access. So if you can just let us read it, I'll be able
Oh.
to make all sorts of motions. I can raise my hand, I can raise my foot. I will make many motions. Thank you.
Sorry, you should have access. What changed since last night?
No,
Let's
not
see.
yet.
Is anyone else having trouble accessing?
Same here.
I've got it open and I'm reading it right now.
Oh, you
Who's that, John Chinen? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is
Let's,
John.
okay, let me see what the
Anthony, I have access to.
That's
you have access.
I just posted the link that I'm reading it off of.
I got that
Okay.
one. I got that one. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. That's weird.
Jesse,
Yes.
Chair, this is Kate.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I doing this on my cell phone. I'm having a little difficulty. Hold on just a second. Not yet.
Call security? Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe 36. Okay, never
Okay. I moved to
Kate, we're
adopt the amendment as presented.
okay. Kate moves to adopt. Do we get a second?
Donna Domingo, I'll second.
Kate moves to adopt as written. Donna seconds. We're in discussion. Liz, would you like to go first?
Yes, I would.
Go
This
ahead.
seems like it's very confusing to the regular voters. You know, I've had friends ask about it. Why is it not really getting the one that we want as the primary candidate? And why do we have to pick so many different choices and it doesn't necessarily select one that we even want to consider? And it makes people not want to vote. I'm not an attorney, I'm just a plain ordinary person, so it's very confusing to a lot of the common people.
I don't believe the maker of the motion is on.
I
The
can
line
answer,
does.
Jesse.
Okay, go ahead, Kate.
Okay, I'm one of the co-chairs of the current PP committee, which ceases to exist at the end of the convention. In Hawaii, the state does not run the primaries for the parties. Therefore, we go through a process with the Democrat National Committee and follow their rules and their regulations to run our own presidential primary. And we've done it in two different ways in the past, one by mail ballot and one in conjunction with the precinct biennial meeting, the district biennial meetings. I hope that helps.
Well, I was wondering, is there a way we can be considered to separate from that? Because I think it's hurting the local party.
No.
I know this last election in California, it really affected them.
No, we cannot, because sorry, Jesse. May I
Yeah,
respond?
well, I'll let you respond, and then Martha has her hand up.
Okay. You know, we cannot because the Democratic Party of Hawaii is part of the Democratic National Committee, the big Democratic National Party of the country, and we have to abide by their rules and regulations. So in our case, in Hawaii, the state does not run the presidential primary as they do in most other states. We don't have that. And though the party has tried numerous times to get the legislature to adopt that, it's been unsuccessful. Therefore, the party has to run the primary. That's why it's called a party-run presidential primary. And that's the reason we have this before us.
Martha, your hands up, you're recognized.
All right. First of all, I acknowledge Liz. Hi, nice to have you here. I don't really understand the nature of your question, Liz, because regular everyday voting people do not have to deal with the fact that what the party, the Democratic Party of Hawaii, and those of us who work within it, who've committed ourselves to it, what we have to go through in terms of what this document is saying, which is simply that we need to recognize that since we have to regularly run this primary, the financing for it is something that we're going to have to deal with continually. We can't run it for part of the time and then stop it and then run it again. What we do have is we have a very lazy voting group. The Democrats do not always come out to vote for their primary candidates. Kate, don't talk in the background. Put yourself on mute. Thank you. And so I understand what you're saying, but it simply comes down to the fact that only members of the Democratic Party can vote in a primary for the Democratic candidate. And in Hawaii, the party itself has to pay for that. And all we need to do is light a fire under members of the Democratic Party and under the citizens of Hawaii who have not recognized that that's the way it works here. If we could get more people to decide if they're going to register, it wouldn't do anything except give them the right to do the voting in the primary. So I understand your complaint. I came from New York originally, and we were able to, all of us, do the primaries. I rise in support of this now rewritten and clarified statement, because if we're going to do it, we have to do it right. And this statement seems to address that. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. I just add that the language itself, we're not adding that this is a responsibility for the party. It already is. It's just adding some detail to that process. Mike, you recognized. You have your hand up, Michael.
Thank you. I move to amend the proposal to the draft I sent out last night.
Would you like to paste that in the Zoom?
Sure. Hopefully it'll take.
Is your proposal to strike out all the language and insert yours?
No, it's not. It's actually, it is somewhat of a rewrite. So let's take it section by section. The first one is because I can't put the entire thing in the chat all at once.
Okay, let's if the committee's okay with it, I'm gonna just post Michael's changes in the shared screen so you can have a look at it. Let me go find it real quick. All righty.
Michael, did you make a motion? Because if you did, I'll second it.
Oh, I thank you, Martha.
We don't know what we're looking at, Martha.
But That's
Okay,
why I
thank-
emailed it out. So
Yeah. Where is,
if
let's
you,
see.
let's see.
Are we starting with section 9A, the new material, or are we starting with 90, the party run presidential primary?
If you're okay, I'll share my screen. I have it up.
Yeah, let me just, so it doesn't get wonky. Let me just pull it up. Okay, I'm almost there. Sorry. Okay, here it comes. And it's,
But to answer Makana's question, yes, that's what we'll be starting with.
okay. Just need to share my screen.
My apologies. I was on my own screen looking at the document, not at the shared screen.
And is this one? Is that it? Mike?
Yes.
I can zoom in. Okay.
Okay, so
So this is the amendment that Michael's proposing. And I guess you're making the motion, Michael.
Yes.
Does someone want to second it so we can discuss?
Martha
Yeah.
already did.
Yeah, I seconded it before he made the motion. How's that for
Okay.
efficiency?
Michael makes a motion. Martha seconds. Discussion. You're the maker, Michael, so you go first.
Okay, what you see there in the first part, adding that new section under 9A, the justification is that because we need these committees to be able to do their reports after the fact. And as Kate's pointed out earlier, that these committees just abruptly end at the end of state convention. So if we don't, if for some reason there's a hostile chair to whoever's the chair of the committee, they may strip their access. I can speak from personal experience. Okay, so moving along, that's what that 9A does. And then if moving into 990, what you see before you there, everything underlined has been added. It took into consideration all the amendments that were in the original submission that we received that was in the folder. So anything you see underlined in there was added. And so starting with the first part, I put which has a 4-year life cycle, just so everybody knows it takes 4 years to do a PPP properly. And then moving in, Jesse, can you go ahead and zoom it in a little bit? Because I know some people are going to have trouble reading that.
Let me get in here.
I also copied and pasted it into the chat screen from my own copy that I had on the computer, if that helps other people.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yep, great. So number one, and this is in chronological order, starting right after the end of state convention after a presidential year. So reviewing the requirements, that's all came from the previous document. Year one just tells you what year the 4-year cycle it should be being done in. The number two is assisting, and I added in the party chair and executive director because it just says assisting before, and we want to know who they're actually assisting. They should know. And this is also for helping for people to know our general membership as well as the members of the committee. We don't do a very good job of keeping up with our information from year to year. So number three, I added in committee because it had fundraising, capital F, which fundraising committee, and to integrate the PPP related fundraising and strategy, because you're going to create a strategy, but you might as well make sure it's being implemented into each biennial election cycle. And that needs to happen all 4 years of the process, making sure, because as we all know that sits on the SCC, budgets change and we do amended budgets, but we want to make sure that the PPP is always there being accounted for. And then number 4 is a brand new addition and providing guidance to the party chair, executive director, county chairs, and the convention committee in presidential election year in the implementation of the approved PPP plan. And then because your PPP committee should be your subject matter expert, so they should be there to provide a resource and provide guidance as they implement the plan that they helped write. And then assisting the fundraising committee in implementing the PPP fundraising strategy. Historically speaking, if a committee comes up with something that spends money, since we do not have a endless supply of that, it is unfair to expect the fundraising committee to have to take that without any support from the committee that actually wrote, helping with that and coming up with the strategy. And then finally, in number 6, it's within 3 months after the completion of the PPP at the state convention, because yet again, people tend to think, oh, we've had some PPP committees think, oh, I wrote the DSP and I'm all done, and they try to walk away. And no, you have to be there to at least provide guidance to the convention committees when it comes to the elections of the delegates to the DNC. And so they're walking hand in hand with the convention committee in presidential election years. And then the other piece I added was including and receiving feedback from our membership. We do a poor job of actually contacting our members and having them know what they're doing. So that is why you have it all there. I did include in the document I sent out last night justifications that I just went through. And I do want to state again that this takes into consideration everything that was in the original proposal that was just made by Kate. It does expand on things to give more clarity and make things easier to read, not only for the PPP committee members, but also our party members. As we all, those of us that sit on rules committees, the Standing Rules Committee knows that our bylaws and constitutions in some cases read like stereo instructions. For those of you that are too young to know what stereo instructions used to look like, you almost had to have an engineering degree to put them together, and you had to know where everything went. And so I believe this makes it a lot more cut and dry for everybody so you can read this, you know what's happening, you know when things should be taking place. And so it's to give everybody a clarity as well as structure. And so that is the reason I took the time and energy to make this so it's more accessible to our party members as well as the PPP members and the SEC. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Jesse, Kate,
Hi, Kate.
may I just?
Yes, you're recognized.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, you don't have the hand there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
That's okay.
really appreciate Michael's work on this. I agree with that the First Amendment where he says about the continuation, after the convention to complete its work, that one. As to the clarification that he's put on all of the 90 rule is, I'm very dubious about doing that because I think it's more in the nature of guidelines and information. And I would hate to set a precedent in putting into bylaws everything that every standing committee has to do. I don't think that's good practice. So I like the first one, Michael. I don't like the second amendments to 90. Okay.
Martha, I see your hand up. You're recognized.
Yeah, I just, first of all, I understand where Kate is coming from. However, in this particular case, I think what Michael has done is, to quote one of our other members, made it easier for regular people to understand what they have to do. It does seem like instructions, Kate. You're absolutely right. But you know what? That's exactly what we need in some of our rules and bylaws and all sorts of things. There's too much political language, and I'm sorry to say it, but there's a persistent growing ignorance of American and English language, and especially political and legal language. So I appreciate what Michael has done. And it's very important that this thing, sorry, it's very important that this get done in a way that more people, as they join the Democratic Party, can deal with it. And it is a big deal, that PPP. It's a very big deal. And we've been struggling for a while with it. I apologize for the ringing phone, guys. It hung me up. So I've turned it off. Thank you. I support Michael in these news proposals, is where I'm coming from.
I see Abby has her hand up, and after Abby, John. You recognized Abby.
Mahalo, Chair. Just wanted to say I support Michael's amendments for 9O, and I believe it's 9A. I think the PPP, just like Martha said, is very, very important. And we want to make sure that we look like we're competent to the voters and that we're doing a good job. So until we get a state-run presidential primary, I think it's very important to have this documented and also to point to folks knowing what their responsibilities are. Mahalo.
Thank you. John Chinnen is next. Before you speak, John, I just wanted to say, if you see me pulling around in here, what I'm doing is adding the actual language from the bylaws so you can see where the actual red lines are. Go ahead, Donna. Oh, I'm sorry. I think, who was it who had his? John first and then Donna. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to support the amendments that Mike has made because I don't see these changes as micromanaging a committee. I see them as setting benchmarks for this committee. Because for something like the presidential preference poll, we need specific benchmarks, specific timelines, because in 2006, or I'm sorry, 2007, I worked as a staffer for the Democratic Party of Hawaii. And I was one of the guys responsible for putting together the 2008 delegate selection plan. And I'm going to be pretty honest, we did not know what the hell we were doing in the run-up to the 2008 or in getting that delegate selection plan crafted. We were basically treading water. So any benchmarks or any guidance that we can give a committee to run the presidential preference poll, then I'm going to be completely for it. So I urge everybody else to support the amendments. Thank you.
Donna, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. I too rise,
Is it okay?
Oh, I think someone's microphone is on. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead, Donna.
I too rise in support of the amendment. And as everyone knows, is the guidance. I went back to the First Amendment and I looked at the justification, and this here it just clear. So these changes improve the governance clarity, ensure a continuity across leadership cycles, and better position the party to execute. So the first 2 years after the PPP is actually very important. Whatever fundraising, whatever strategy is so important that the 2 to 4 year committee has a lot of heavy lifting. So whatever we can do throughout the 4 years will help the party as a whole. So I think this amendment that is before us is a very good guideline. And at some point, we're going to see that they have done what they could. At the end, it's the best they could. And we gave them guidance. They had guidance to implement or do the strategy. And if it didn't, then there's other options to do. But we've given them all the tools and all the guidance. And I think that's the best we can do. So this is very clear to me. So I'm in favor of this. Thank you, Chair.
Any further discussion? You're recognized, Michael.
Oh, I thank you. I just want to say that as the author of the original language that sits in the bylaws today, I thought we gave them enough guidance. And as we sit here, we're 19, 20 months out from launching the next PPP. We have no fundraising done. We hear rumors of it costing around $350,000 because that's what it cost us in with inflation and everything, what it cost us in 2020 when we did all mail in. So I realize that we definitely need to be giving them more guidelines and guidance in that area for this, because we do the same thing with our finance committee at the beginning of this. So I think it makes a nice bookend to the committee section where we give them a lot of guidance for the finance committee, and we're giving a lot of guidance for the party run presidential primary. Because that's one of the things that this party's taken many a dings for, and rightfully so. In 2008 and what's 2008, not 2012, not so bad. 2016 as well. And luckily in 2020 we had all mail in. And then we definitely took a lot of dings for in 2022. Or 2024. But we were like in 2024, we were lucky to pull anything off given this all the problems we were having. So that is the reason I took the time to do this, to make sure that we have guidance and your average person can actually read it and understand what's going on. So thank you.
I see Anthony has his hand up.
So, the question I have, well, first off, I support the amendments. I'm just wondering whether or not it's sufficiently clear, given our documents, that about what it means regarding the 4-year life cycle, because it's not clear to me right now whether or not if you're appointed during the first year, you go through one state convention, then year 3 and year 4, you're still committee members or not, because you got appointed at one convention, then you went through another one. Does the committee get redone, or do they hold over? That's the part that's not clear to me, even with your 9A section.
Jesse, this is Kate.
I see that. Okay, go ahead, Kate.
Thanks. Thanks for being patient with me, everybody, while I'm doing this on the phone on Kauai. Okay, so when we had our discussions in the PPP committee this past year, we asked the parliamentarian whether the PPP committee could be a 4-year committee, and it cannot be. Our cycle is 2 years. So after every convention, the new chair must reconstitute chairpersons or co-chairs and members of the PPP committee. So you cannot have a PPP committee that stays the same unless they're reappointed by the new chair past the convention, because our constitution is set up to have a 2-year cycle. So I agree with Anthony Parrish that part of Michael's amendment needs to be really clear, that you're not on the PPP committee for 4 years. You're only there for 2.
I see Donna has her hand up. Go ahead, Donna.
Thank you, Chair. When I read this amendment, it's just clarifying this 4-year cycle. That's all it does, which has a 4-year life cycle. And that's the PPP. And if you read, yes, every end of convention, the new chair can appoint new committees. And there's a timeline. That's why I suggested to put in the caveat of the carryover for a specific sole purpose. So this is just a descriptive of solely the party-run presidential. And it's in parentheses, it's not one action, it's just a description. Because a lot of people don't know it's every 4 years. to me, if that's the hangup, we're not saying this amendment, as I read it, doesn't say that it's a 4 year committee term. And it doesn't have to be there, but it explains from 1 to 6 what happens in the 4 years. So that when the committee comes and they will sit down, what year are they at? So the report that they're gonna get from the prior, it's a continuation, and that's helpful. So what they're gonna handle the next 2 years. That's the way I read it. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, Makana, but it is a full understanding that the chair that's elect can select anyone else. We're done. I was on the PPP committee. Our work is actually done at the Hammer. And that is fine too, because that's a privilege of the chair to decide who he has. But these are the criteria, taking it from time the hammer goes down. But that's not what this amendment is saying, to add 4 years. Thank you.
Michael, since you're the maker, I just made stylistic changes. I made all the changes you made, but I made it off of the original language from the bylaws. So
Okay.
if this is adopted, then we just paste this into the report.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. But if I just want to agree with everything Donna just said, that is just a descriptor to let people know that it takes to do a PPP properly. It takes 4 years, and you need to start. Oh, the minute the gavel goes down after the state convention in a presidential year, things need to start moving along. Because like I said, if we don't, we're going to be behind the 8 ball like we are right now. Not as bad as we were in 2024, but because we still have some time to catch up. But to fundraise $350,000, as Jesse, or everybody on here should know that it takes a lot of energy to raise money for this party, and especially to raise something as ubiquitous as, oh, the PPP, what is that? And then it's like, we fund it so you can vote. And unfortunately, luckily we had Congresswoman Hanabusa in 2020 to help raise the funds for the PPP then. Unfortunately, we don't have her now. So institutional knowledge is something that this party lacks on. And so that is the reason that we need something to this detailed, and something that's so important to the voters and our members.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Yes, Jesse.
You're recognized, Kate.
Michael, could you clarify that amendment about the 4 years, so it's really crystal clear that the committee is not a 4-year committee, that the primary is a 4-year cycle?
The party run presidential primary, if they want to move that over, so the where it says the presidential primary, which is a 4-year cycle, and we can, if moving that over, if that makes everybody happier, and if that makes sense, and so it's not right behind the committee, and that just so everybody knows that it's a descriptor, I'm fine with that, or putting it as moving it over in front of the PPP, I guess, in front of the committee, and then moving the PPP to the end, so the PPP can give you the presidential primary committee. But I think if that makes everybody happier and everybody understands it, because we do not have the authority in this section to say that any committee is more than 2 years. That empowers imbued into the Constitution, and this is just the bylaws. Not just, but it's only the bylaws, and they don't have the authority in this document to do that, nor should we. That is not. Never the intention. Yeah.
Do you want to take a friendly amendment, Michael, and move it? Let's see, presidential election which
Oh,
is
yeah.
a 4-year cycle. So are you okay with that friendly amendment?
Well, yeah, perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
And so
If I
then,
was a parliamentarian, I'd like, have hackles about friendly amendment, but if we're a copacetic group, I will let Michael amend his motion and just make it easy on all of us, and we can debate the motion. So, Michael, you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Um,
Martha, are you okay with that?
The second, yeah. Martha, you're okay with the second?
Yeah,
with that change?
I'm supporting. Yeah, let's make it easy. I like the easy part. Let's go with that.
Okay. This is the current amendment. Any further discussion on the amendment?
Let's see. But we would not have in the 3 years preceding. So take that out. Presidential election.
Okay, so strike
That's
this.
it. Yeah, get rid of that. Because since we had a 3-year term in there prior, and nobody thought the PPP was a 3-year committee. So there you go. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, see,
Let me get this. And that's another friendly amendment. You okay with that, Martha?
Yes, I am, and I appreciate the fact that you're asking my permission for all of this. I graciously grant it.
Okay, so this is the amendment Michael's putting forward. Any further discussion?
Jesse, I'm sorry. It's
Yes,
Kate
go ahead,
again.
Kate.
I really appreciate the work on that, Michael and Martha. I still have some qualms about the specificity of these amendments. But this is the Rules Committee, so the Rules Committee members decide. I will probably vote no on this part. I really like that first part where the continuation is clarified.
Is it
The
time
first-
to make a motion, guys, to accept this? Someone
Oh,
tell
wait,
me
folks, just really quick. We're missing something here. The presidential election, which has a 4-year life cycle, then it goes into the party-run committee. So what are we missing? The presidential election, which has a 4-year life cycle.
For which the party-run presidential primary committee is the lead.
For which the party-run shall be responsible for is the language in the original. So it's going to
Okay,
read the
who's that?
presidential election, which has a 4-year life cycle, for which the party-run presidential primary committee shall be responsible for reviewing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I added for which the.
Oh, here.
No, not there. Where you have it.
Oh, here.
You
Yeah.
have, yeah, right there.
Michael, you okay with the friendly amendment?
Yep.
You okay, Martha, with the friendly amendment?
I am indeed, Sir Knight.
Grammar. Okay. Any further discussion on the motion that is before you, presented by Michael, seconded by Martha? I see Donna has her hand up. You recognized?
Thank you, Chair. There's to the last amendment, the friendly amendment. I think for which the.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Thank you.
Thank you. I see Elton has his hand up. You recognized?
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say that this particular 6-part amendment is really a substantial improvement over the original amendment. I still have a problem with this first sentence, which reads the presidential election, which has a 4-year life cycle, for which the party-run presidential primary PPP committee shall be responsible for. I don't know, grammatically that somehow doesn't work still.
If
So
everybody's okay with if everybody's okay with it under the standing rules, we can fix the grammar afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I agree with that. Thank you.
Okay, so do we make that motion now that we accept, or if 5 people want a roll call vote because they don't want to accept it, can we do that now? And do the grammar after?
I think we lost you, Jesse.
Which occurs every presidential election, which occurs every, is it 4 years? During a presidential election.
Can we just say the presidential primary committee shall be responsible for?
Oh yeah, maybe that. Maybe we're trying to say too much. Good point. Sorry, it's late.
No,
Yeah. The
keeping
party
it
one president
simple.
shall be responsible for. Yeah. What if we just zap all this stuff out? We just zap all this out and just have the party one presidential primary committee shall be responsible for. What about that? Is that okay, Michael?
I can live with that.
Okay, let's do that. So we're gonna strike out. Strike out this original language. Bam. Bam. Take out this added language. Bang. And then we're gonna put a T here. Underline. Sorry, you guys got to bear with me because if I do it now, I don't have to do it later. There you go. The party run presidential primary committee shall be responsible for. There you go. How about that? I think it's pretty clear to people who do this when the presidential election primary is, I hope, as a party. Are you
Jesse,
okay with that?
before we ask for how many people wrote a roll call, I'd like to make a couple of remarks, if I might.
Sure.
Shall I proceed?
Michael, are you okay with the friendly amendments?
Yes, I am.
Martha is okay with the second? Okay, go ahead, Kate.
Okay. Michael's made very good points. And as one of the responsible parties, during the first 2 years when I was co-chair of the PP committee, I was having a health issue about a cancer. So I did not get all the stuff done that I should have in the first 2 years. And I apologize that to everybody, but we've caught up. We have a resolution before the resolutions committee with clear direction from if it's adopted by the convention of what the next PPP committee should do and what the chair should do. So, you know, PPP is a big deal and it's a big business and it takes a lot of effort. So my apologies for not being as timely as Michael would have wished.
Thank you, Kate. Any further discussion on the amendment before us? Seeing none, before we vote, I just want to clarify that the amendment is to add this language to 9A. We're going to amend 9O as follows. And I'm going to take the justification and this justification, and if we vote to approve, I'm going to plop this all and replace the language that's currently in the report. And that will be the amendment. And it's kind of wonky. Then we got to vote again on the original. Okay. But that's how I'm going to do it. So anyone opposed? If there's more than 5 opposed, then we'll do a roll call.
Jesse, I'm opposed.
1. Seeing none. Other carries 2 opposed. Going once, going twice. Seeing no more, it passes unanimously. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to plop it in
To the report.
to the report. Okay. So we're going to go back to the report. And we're going to share the report screen. Choose this. You folks see the draft rules? I'm going to take this and replace it with this. Okay, so we're back in the report. Yeah, that looks right. Any further discussion on the amendment to the original motion?
As amended.
As amended.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's good. Any discussion on the original as amended? Hearing none. I need 5 noes to get a roll call. 5 noes to get a roll call. Seeing no noes going once, going twice. Motion carries. Thank you. So that's our presidential primary. And the last two is the midterm vacancy recusal proposal and the midterm vacancy ranked choice voting proposal. So we'll start with the midterm vacancy recusal proposal. What say you, committee?
Jesse, this is Kate again.
Yes.
I object to this proposal because any legislator who has the time
Oh,
and the
Kate,
willingness.
Kate, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's take a motion so we can
Sorry,
debate.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Any motion?
I'll make the, do we need a motion since it's already before the body? And technically,
We've been
Yeah.
taking motions. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll move for the purposes of discussion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, I got a motion from Michael, a second from Abby. Discussion? Go ahead, Kate.
Okay, I object to this one. I think that current elected officials, if a current elected official is willing to put the time in and serve on the district council, I don't think their vote on a vacancy should be taken away from them. I don't think that's fair. I don't know of any legislators who serve on district councils.
Is the maker of the motion here? Oh, the submission, the submitter of this?
Yes, I am here. I'm a guest.
Oh, hi. Is that Aria? Yeah, you want to
hi.
speak to it, Aria? Go ahead.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to address the body. I know this is a great privilege. So I just want to explain where this comes from. So in 2024 district council meeting, there was a district council, at least one that I know of, that appointed the governor, the state representative, the state senator, and the county council member for that district to serve on the district council. That is a lot of influence to have for one seat. As we have seen in, I think, maybe 8 to 10 different appointments for various vacancies, it happens quite often. And it often happens soon after an election, or in the middle of a term, or right before an election. Really strange timing in order to kind of, I feel personally, pick and choose who's going to be the successor to that seat. And with all due respect to the lawmakers who do volunteer their time with the party, I really do respect you guys. But I feel like this is just a little bit too far of influence, especially when we have vacancies in a Senate seat and the person who is likely to apply for that Senate seat would be the sitting House rep for that seat. and the sitting House rep has, and a lot of there's a lot of reasons why they want to be a senator. And the people that are voting the new rep in have motivation to vote them into the Senate seat because that creates another vacancy for people to move into. And I just think it's a little bit egregious that the governor would take up a seat on the district council to vote for one of the three names to put before him, that then he would again be choosing the three names to take the seat. So that's why I'm proposing this. And I think that there is merit to discussion with this one and then the next one that is the ranked choice voting option, because if the whole members of the district of all the Democratic Party can vote, then I don't think that elected officials would need to recuse themselves because it's coming from a large party. But when the decision is being made by the 5 or 6 district council people that are, bothered to show up for these or were able to be elected, I think it's just a little bit hitting too close to home. So that's the reason why that I propose these two things. Thank you.
Thank you, Aria. I see Renee has her hand up, and after Renee, Martha. You're recognized, Renee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm in District 4 on the Big Island of Hawaii. I was the previous district chair. I am now the region chair. We are delighted that our state rep and our state senator, both of which reside in District 4, are part of our district council. We find them really helpful and encouraging. And at least in Puna, we're not intimidated by people who are elected officials. So I really am strongly opposed to this as an amendment. We like to hear what they say. They come to our district council meetings regularly. And this seems, while some people may have some problems, it certainly has not been our lived experience that it's a problem.
Thank you. Martha, you're recognized.
Okay, well, I mean, Aria may want to interrupt me to respond to that, because as I am reading this, the line that Renee seems to object to specifically says, current elected officials must recuse themselves from voting in the selection process to identify 3 candidates. She has not said they cannot advise, they cannot show up. She hasn't said anything about them not being members of the district council. So that, let me just clarify that point, which is important. But for Aria, I would have to say, Aria, as you know, there are inconsistent district councils. There are those that have, if they're damn lucky, 2 or 3 people from the district who are willing to even take on executive positions, which become meaningless. And then there are those that are extremely active and have a very large active group. So my concern would be for positions in a midterm situation, for positions as important as state senate or state house or anything of that nature. Don't you really want to have at least 3 candidates who have some background and some experience, and therefore you would want to have district councils that had the benefit of advice and the benefit of interviewing individuals? However, I do see your point about asking these elected officials not to have a right to vote on the final decision, or at least limit their voting power. So I would like that to be addressed in general, because it also affects my comments on the subsequent proposal that came from Aria that we will take up later. So can you clarify, Aria? Because I think Renee's question, as I understood it, that would be my response. And I think you might want to address that.
Thank you. I see Michael has his hand up. You recognize Michael?
Okay. I move that we strike current elected officials must recuse themselves and then insert the governor must recuse themselves. And it's in the chat.
I don't know where strike is in Google Docs, so I'll just do it this way. Does anyone know what strike is in Google Docs? Governor shall accuse themselves. Yep, right?
Yep.
So this is Michael's amendment. Do I get a second?
Second.
Second.
The second was that Kate?
Yes.
Michael's motion, Kate's seconded. Discussion?
If I may, Chair.
Sure.
The governor shouldn't have two bites at the same apple because the governor's the one that does make the appointment. So having them vote in that thing, they get to vote on something that they actually get to pick.
Mhm.
So well, I appreciate the intent of Aria's original motion. I think, and I do, there are several I can point out here on Oahu. We have several elected officials that sit on district councils
Oh, good.
here on Oahu, and or even district. There are even district chairs. So yes, that does happen, and I believe we've taken care of some of the undue influence in how the SCC is taking care of that with how when we did our rewrite of the how to fill those vacancies. So very rarely have yeah. So I think this should help address some of the things that have been brought up. So I encourage everybody to vote for it.
Abby, I see your hand up. You recognized after Abby, Renee.
Mahalo, Chair, just a procedural question about this process. In terms of the governor choosing from a selection of 3 candidates, is that something that is state law, or is that done because of the DPH bylaws or constitution?
There is I haven't memorized it, but I know that there's a statutory framework where the party needs to present the governor with recommendations.
So if we recommended only one candidate, then the governor wouldn't have.
If I may, Jesse.
How would that work?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you.
It's in the HRS. The HRS requires us to put forth 3 names. We had this come up here on Oahu. Only 2 people were voted out of the district council by the district council, and then it was left up to the county chair to fill in that 3rd seat. So we are required under statute to provide 3 names. And how to get to those 3 names? If you only have one person apply or only one person gets votes, the past practices is then, and it's left up to the county chair to automatically appoint the other 2 names. So we are required to provide 3 names.
Mahalo.
So,
thank you.
I see Renee has her hand up. You recognize Renee?
Thank you, Chair. I would support Michael's amendment. I think it makes good sense to not have the governor be part of this initial selection process for exactly the reason that Michael said. I think that's very, very different than taking away the voting ability of our county council member or our state rep who might be one in our district, one of 15 people, as we do have a very robust and thorough district council. Thanks.
Thank you. I pasted the statutory language in the chat. That's for a state senator. It's very similar for state representatives. Any further discussion on Michael's amendment to the amendment? I see John Chinen. You're recognized.
Okay, by extension, should we also include the lieutenant governor? Because there could be a time when the lieutenant governor becomes the acting governor, and if they sit on a district council too, then they're technically taking a second bite of the apple as well. Just a thought. I don't know if
Michael,
we have the
you're okay with
appetite for
that,
an
Michael?
amendment or
If
I've never seen the governor give up the ability to appoint.
Jesse, this is Kate.
hold on one second.
Yeah.
John, Michael, if you don't accept the friendly amendment, what we'll do is we'll continue with this, vote on it, and then John can make an amendment to that.
Okay. Not at this time. I think that given who's when governors, I don't think governors are going to give up the right to appoint, and so.
Any further discussion on Michael's amendment?
Jesse?
Go ahead, Kate.
Okay, I'd just like to point out, if the lieutenant governor is the acting governor, when the governor is not here, the lieutenant governor is the acting governor. So I think it covers the governor or acting governor. So I don't think you need to add lieutenant governor.
Any further discussion on Michael's amendment? I need 5 noes to do a roll call. Any opposition to the motion? Going once, going twice. Motion passes unanimously. So the current submittal as amended. Any further discussion? I need 5 noes to do a roll call. Going once, going twice. Seeing none. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. And we're on to our final submission. This is the midterm vacancy rank choice voting proposal.
I'll make the motion for discussion purposes.
You get a second? Going once. Going
Second.
twice. Second by Abby.
Correct. Mahalo.
Motion made by Michael Galoyu, seconded by Abby to pass the submittal. Discussion?
Jesse, this is Kate.
Go ahead, Kate.
Could we ask Aria to explain this more? Because I'm not sure about, I like ranked choice voting, but I don't know exactly how this would work in this circumstance, and who's responsible for organizing the ranked choice and paying for it.
Go ahead, Aria.
Thank
if you will.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
problem. Thank you. Again, this is a just a thought that I had to address this because we've seen, I think, just so many of these instances that our elected officials are getting appointed instead of being chosen by the people. And I think that we can do better as a party. It's akin to a special election, pretty much. And yes, the party would be responsible for organizing, paying for it if we choose to do mailed ballots or electronic voting or an in-person vote, what have you. But I think that, or I would hope that if there was more consequences and substance that has to happen in order to replace a vacancy, maybe people wouldn't be so frivolous in abandoning their seats in the middle of session or appointing people to the executive boards in the middle of session or running for a seat and then retiring halfway through. So that's just my thought. I think that it's worth discussion. I understand that it costs money, it costs time. We're so strapped with volunteers. I get it, but I just appreciate to hear your thoughts about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aria. Martha, you're recognized.
Yeah, first of all, Aria, I want to thank you for coming up with this. My heart was so deeply touched. And then came the other part that got touched with is the complete panic of the fact that we can barely run a presidential primary, the party that's always about money. It's always about money, and it's about apathy in the Democratic Party voting public and the ignorance of the entire state of Hawaii as to what this all means, because lots of people know they can vote in the final election, but they don't have to be a registered member of the party. So I have to say, Aria, if you give me this, you need to come up with the idea of how we're going to fund it. Because if I were bringing a proposal like this to anyone, not just a rules committee, but to anyone, I wouldn't begin to think about it until I came up with the plan. And this is how we're going to raise the money. And this is how we're going to get the people to participate in this vote. Because this is a question that needs the answer to be coming in with it, or it will not get a chance to be heard. That's my opinion. But I love you for thinking of it. And if you come up with an idea, I will be back behind you all the way, all the way.
I see Renee has her hand raised. You recognize Renee?
Thank you, Chair. I do not see this as a practical way to do this. While I know that some of you may have situations in which people are resigning in unusual ways for unusual reasons. Most often what we've seen is that it comes into play because somebody's dead. And it seems like in that case, there's an interim approach. And I just do not see this as, I see this as expensive and not very practical.
I see Michael has his hand up, and then Liz Holmes.
I appreciate the intent for this submission. And if we had unlimited funds and we didn't have only 60 days, because just so everybody understands that there's a ticking clock on this thing when the vacancy happens to the time that we have to get the names to the governor. So and the money piece. Although I would never tell anybody that they have to figure out how they pay for anything, because we didn't make anybody do that when we've done a lot of the different other amendments in this committee or any other the other committees when rules are passed. So I would never make that a requirement. We would have to have some idea of how we were going to pay for it. Logistically wise, I don't think we could do this right now. For those reasons, I will be voting no. But I hear Aria's frustration loud and clear, that we definitely need, and part of it comes down to the fact that we need to have our entire district councils filled out. And we're sitting here, there's some district councils only have 4 or 5 members, and those 4 or 5 members then get to vote to decide who replaces a House district member. So, but that goes back to a total apathy within our party, and that goes back to the lack of communication. And there's a whole different other cascade of problems why we have so many vacancies. But yeah, so money wise, yes, would this be expensive? Depending on how you do it, like Aria said. But the practical reasons is I don't think we can do it at this point, and I do not want to put one more thing that this party is going to fail at, because we're already failing at so many other things beautifully, as it were. So again, thank you, Aria, but I will be voting no.
So before Liz speaks, I think we may not have quorum. Because we have 15 on, minus Aria, that's 14, minus DPH host, that's 13, minus the committee convention, DPH convention, so we don't have quorum. So I think I need to stop the meeting.
Can we go into recess and see if we can grab somebody?
I will say we reconvene in what, 5 minutes?
Sure.
7:25,
Mm-hmm.
26, 7:26. We're in recess. Thank you. During midterm vacancy, we're back in from recess. We're considering midterm vacancy, ranked choice voting. Thank you, Linda Ichiyama, for joining us. We now have quorum again. Any discussion? Further discussion?
Do we need to catch Linda up on what has already been said?
If someone wants to,
I'll do a quick one if that's okay.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Michael.
Basically, some of us support the intent about getting more people to be able to vote, but logistically wise, to be able to do ranked choice voting to fill a vacancy, it just, at least from my perspective, is just going to be problematic. Plus the cost price, right? So I'm voting no on this proposal, but I do thank Aria for bringing this up, and that we need to work on a better way of engaging our members and getting people to be parts of district councils when it comes to filling these midterm vacancies. But with the budgetary things, we just can't do it.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I see Renee, you have your hand raised. You're recognized. You're on mute, Renee. You're still on mute, Renee. Oh, okay. Liz Holmes, you have your hand raised. You're
Yes.
recognized.
Thank you. I don't support this either, the ranked choice. It, in my opinion, doesn't always bring out the choice that the person wants when we have to rank it. And it is something I think that does not encourage people to want to participate. And
Thank
it is
you.
costly also.
Any further discussion on the submission before us? I see Abby, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. So just a quick question to clarify. Currently, when the district council or the respective officers of the precinct clubs and district councils select the candidates, do they use ranked choice voting to select the candidates? What's the process for them to select those candidates? Mahalo.
I don't know what process they use. It's not in the rules. But does anyone want to?
Technically,
Anyone have insight?
Technically, they're supposed to be using ranked choice voting when those things happen, but it's just enforcement thereof. I know that it wasn't used recently because we actually had a flip of a coin when it came to a third place for the recent vacancy. But right now, it's strict whoever the top 3 vote getters without using ranked choice voting. So, well, yeah. So that's where we're at.
Michael, it's not in our constitutional bylaws, it's a policy, right? Is that what it is?
Ranked choice voting is in our constitution. It says ranked choice voting shall be used for all party elections. And the way it was interpreted, some people have interpreted it to mean for the vacancies, and other people said no, it's only for things like chair, district council. And I know I don't know of anybody who used it on March 4th for the biennial election. So it's actually I believe it's in the Constitution.
I don't see it in here. Anybody know where it is? Abby, I see your hand raised.
I don't know where it is, but I would suggest that we clarify that we consider an amendment to add ranked choice voting for the selection process.
So we're looking at the right rules that we have before us. Is Article 6 State Convention, Article 6, Section 3D5. All elections at the convention shall be determined by majority use of ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting doesn't show up in the Constitution or anywhere else in the bylaws.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of. There you go. Well, somewhere. No, it was somewhere.
So this would require ranked choice voting.
By the district council, is that
I would like to make a motion
to amend?
to amend.
Yeah.
We can go back and if we can amend, maybe I should just write it all into the chat, but I don't want to hold anybody hostage and I don't want to cause another meeting. But I would say I guess the key thing is that we would want to, or that we could consider, shall vote to, that the district council shall vote to select candidates using ranked choice voting for state representative. So number one, and then that same language repeated in number two. So basically all we're saying is we're keeping the existing language on the rules, but we're going to amend it to say that the way they're selecting the candidate is using ranked choice voting, since that is really kind of the standard as to where we want to be, in my personal humble opinion. So just putting it out there.
So is your amendment then to put back in the highlighted language?
Put back the highlighted language.
While you do that, Jesse, if I can recommend just sticking the ranked choice voting requirement in the first paragraph, the following process shall be followed to identify candidates who may be recommended using ranked choice voting.
Excellent. I think that's best. Thank you.
Where is that? Following
to fill the vacant office using ranked choice voting, just using ranked choice voting at the end of that
vacant office. I see.
Using ranked choice voting.
Guys, can I ask you, do you want to add when possible or where possible? Only because as you pointed out, sometimes there's not 3 candidates to have a ranked choice. Sometimes there's 2, sometimes 1.5. I'm just asking. I don't know because I haven't had enough experience.
I don't think it's necessary because ranked choice voting can't be used if you have less candidates than you do have positions.
Oh, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that.
So this is Abby's motion. So Abby, are you okay with Abby's motion is to add using ranked choice voting, add that language, and putting this language back in, the highlighted language.
Correct. Putting the highlighted language back in and striking all of the changed language. So basically we're going back to the original and the correct. And the only change would be.
And then you delete all this, all duly registered, all that?
Correct. Yeah.
And then you would remove that. Oh, wait, I better do it this way. You'd remove this. And would you do the same for the next number 3?
Correct.
Okay. Let's put that back. Take this out. And then I'll highlight it for everybody. All right, folks, this is Abby's motion.
I will second it.
Abby made a motion, seconded by Michael Gloria Jr. Any discussion? I see Donna has your hand up. You recognize Donna?
No, it was before the amendment, but before that, you are correct. The ranked choice voting that you referred to is correct. It's only on the convention. And I was thinking, because I know in the past we were had to be put in the DSP, but it didn't. So I stand corrected. It's not in the bylaws or constitution. That's my comment before the amendment was made. So thank you.
Thank you. I see Anthony has his hand raised. You're recognized.
I wish to clarify whether or not the last 2 paragraphs are also what we are currently considering in the amendment. that's underlined.
You
May I
left this
speak?
in, right, Abby? Yeah, go ahead, Abby.
Thank you, Chair. Not the entire portion. So when you look at the first paragraph, I would keep everything in um, up until the portion that speaks to mail-in. I would strike the mail-in portion.
Here.
So keep everything else except for mail-in, yeah. So basically,
So
the
the-
last sentence would read, the executive director and/or designated staff shall assist in implementing the ranked choice voting process, including assisting in formatting ballots and tabulations for all districts to utilize for virtual and/or in-person voting. So we're going to take out the mail-in part since we're not opening it up to everyone.
Okay, so this is just clarifying the motion. So this is Abby's motion. It's not a new motion. It's just, are you okay with this, Michael? That's a second?
And then also, I think we need to get rid of the last sentence. To be eligible to vote, members must be registered with the party before the vacancy is announced. Because
Are you okay with that friendly amendment, Abby?
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so this is Abby's motion. Okay by Michael, who seconded. Any further discussion? I see Renee has her hand raised. You're recognized, Renee. You're on mute, Renee.
Okay, good. Finally, I found myself.
Got it.
Yes, it's an existential experience. My question here is the sentence that says the executive director and/or designated staff shall assist in implementing the ranked choice voting process, blah, blah, including assisting in formatting ballots and tabulation for all districts to utilize. I do not see how that is in the least bit relevant to a district council election.
Can I respond?
Yes, you're recognized, Michael.
Thank you. Our district chairs don't know how to do it. That's why. We need to be trained. There needs to be somebody to provide guidance on how this. There should, as we saw on March 4th, we need to do a lot of training, and this is something that we need to be able to at least have staff to be able to provide support when it comes to this. And so that's why it's relevant. Because again, we do not want to set up our district councils to fail, and if we do not provide them the support, they will.
I see your hand up. Oh, go ahead, Renee.
I was going to say, I disagree completely with that. I think about the worst thing you could come up with is to have the executive director and/or designated staff to implement this. If they wanted to provide some kind of handout or something, that's fine. But I've not found that has been particularly a useful experience from my time as a district chair.
I see Donna has her hand up, and then somebody from DPH. You're recognized, Donna.
I'm rubbing my forehead because I'm trying to compose myself. It said to utilize for use of virtual. So I just want to tell you there is a cost. Because we have a canoe district in for the biennial that we do for Molokai, Lanai, and Hana. And we have to, the county had to dish out for the purpose of virtual. And that was already $1,000, and that was just the cost to get it set up. So, you know, if you're gonna have the executive director and designated staff, that's time consuming. I don't want to, there is some amendments that I want to do, but it just would just mess it up. I think this is in conjunction to what our filling vacancy policy is that we have drafted. It's in our policy. It has to be then again overlooked. So this is huge. I believe it has merit in what we're trying to achieve, but this is consequences way beyond, because I'm pretty intelligent. I know the bylaws. I try to explain to people. But one thing I couldn't do, and I understand ranked choice voting in my head and what to do. But to tell somebody to rank choice voting, that's another level. I confuse myself when I give instructions. And the district chair have to be there to pick it up. And I will tell you, the first couple of times we did ranked choice voting, I did not understand it. I just said yes, I didn't want to look ignorant, but I understand it now, but I can't articulate it. So this process of ranked choice voting overall needs to be embedded in some way, because we're gonna be doing that in the PPP, which is recommended. But there's a third-party vendor that we're recommending to do the rounds of it if needed for the PPP. But in 2020, when they did ranked choice, I tell you to talk to the regular person in what ranked choice voting, and they just wanted to vote for one person. Well, ranked choice do up to 3. Okay, but I'm just interested in 1. What do you say beyond that? So I think we gotta be able to articulate that. Training for district chairs and how to do it, if that's not in front of us, because this is like far and few in between, like we're going to be dealing with vacancies. So we're not going to look at it if it's less than 3 people. And it kind of sounded, but it's whatever. But I think it needs more discussion if that's the direction we're going to go. So whatever amendment, I'm not going to be in support. Thank you.
I see Michael has his hand raised. I see Anthony has his hand raised. Phil has his hand raised. Phil is not on the committee. If Michael and Anthony are okay, we can let Phil have his say.
Sure.
Go ahead, Phil. Thanks, Anthony.
Hey everybody, Phil, Executive Director. I just wanted to add some context to just, for the several vacancies that we had during Chair Turbin's term, we actually had to work closely. It was me and our senior advisor, Aaron Fernandez. We worked very closely with the district chair and the county chair throughout the entire process. And it was a very long process, and, there was a lot of back and forth between the two. I will note that one of the district chairs who knew the most about the process and bounced off a lot of their ideas off with us was Doug Pyle. So thank you to Doug. But every other district chair needed a lot of help and a lot of guidance throughout the entire process during those vacancy selection proceedings. So just wanted to add that in there for context.
I see Michael's hand up. You recognize Michael.
Thank you. I rise in support of this amendment because, as Phil just articulated, the executive directors should already be helping them, because most, unless they've done it regularly, don't know how to do vacancy filling a midterm vacancy, and so that's already there. Cost wise, that's minimal we're talking about when it comes to something like a district council or a Senate seat, because you could do it via Zoom for those canoe districts, and also I believe it's House District 5 on the Hawaii County is so large that you definitely can't get everybody together in a reasonable time on a weeknight or a weekday or whatever. The other reason I rise in support of this is that we've taken Fair Votes money multiple times. They're helping to pay for our current convention. They helped pay for our PPP in 2020. And that this just seems the right thing to do, that we need to stand by ranked choice voting, since that's something we push is a priority for this party, and we're taking ranked choice ranked choice. It's in our it's not in our constitution, but it's in our bylaws for the convention. We also have a resolution on it, and it just makes sense that this is a chance for us to educate our district councils on how ranked choice voting works, and that having staff there to support them, having that as a requirement is great. But we need that there, as Phil just articulated. So I encourage everybody to vote yes on the current format. Mahalo.
Any further discussion on the amendment to the proposal submit before us? I see Anthony, you got your hand raised, you're recognized.
I think Auntie Kate had her hand up earlier. She's on her phone, so she couldn't push the button.
Oh, okay.
I will
Who
let
was
her
that?
go
I'm sorry,
first.
Kate?
Kate Stanley, yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Kate. You're on mute. You're still on mute, Kate.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I agree with Donna. I think that this is too premature and too big of a chunk for the party to tackle at this time, and is something we should look forward to exploring and seeing if we can't reach this capacity maybe after the next convention, not this convention. Thank you. I'll be voting no.
Thank you. Anthony, you recognized?
I am in support of the amendment in part, and given the discussion, I would think that the last paragraph actually is the part where procedure and policy-wise might need the more robust conversation about how all of that works. And I would offer this amendment, given sentiments I've heard people might be able to get behind, which is to simply state that the executive director and assigned staff will provide resources to implement ranked choice voting. It doesn't say how they're going to do it, with what, who's responsible. It just clarifies that they have that responsibility, and we need to then figure out how all of that works. And the reason why I'm okay with this is because we're just talking about the midterm vacancies right now. We're not talking about other elections. So it's a specific case. Yeah.
So you're recommending we strike out this highlighted portion?
No, the whole last paragraph.
Oh, this whole last paragraph?
Yep. I think that's the one, for me at least, causing the confusion about what are we talking about, who's doing what. And if we just clarify, is ranked choice, or we can just get rid of that paragraph too. I'm okay with that too. Because that, I think, needs further discussion about how it's going to be handled. But I would be okay with this amendment if that makes sense to people, if they wanted to have the executive director and staff there, which I tend to agree because their continuity and need training. But what does resources look like? That's up for interpretation and debate from administration from SEC to SEC.
So, Abby, this is your amendment. So if you take that as a friendly amendment, we can put it in there if Michael's okay with the second.
Yeah, I think what Makan is saying makes sense to me. I think that having that portion just shortened to the executive director or assigned staff will provide resources to implement ranked choice voting. I think that also addresses some of the concerns that Donna had in regards to being able to implement this in a way that feels comfortable for folks. So yes, in short, I support that. Mahalo.
Yeah, let me
And as the second, I support Makanda's amendment as well. Friendly amendment.
Okay, so we're just gonna take out everything but the brackets, yeah? So all we'd be left with is this part. So this is the amendment currently before us, friendly amendment accepted by Abby and the seconder of the motion, Michael below you, Jr. Any further discussion on this motion to amend the proposal? Abby, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Just wanted to clarify that highlighted portion in a document reads, the executive director and/or designated staff shall assist in implementing their ranked choice voting process. Makana's amendment says the executive director or assigned staff will provide resources to implement ranked choice voting. So I think we should go with Makana's
You okay with that?
wording.
Okay.
If
Executive
possible.
director. Executive director. Oh, did he drop it in the thing? I'm sorry.
In the chat, yeah.
Yeah. And you okay with that, Michael?
I sure am.
Okay, drop it in there.
You've
It'll be
got
like
the
that. Okay.
words mail in highlighted in yellow, so don't forget you're going to take that out as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna delete all of that bracket stuff. Yeah. Any further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, I need 5 noes to do a roll call.
No,
We got 1 no. Any more noes on the amendment to the proposal? 2 noes. I got 3. I got 4. Plus Kate's is 5. So we're gonna do a roll call. Bronzy, could you do a roll call, please?
Give me one moment.
So again, we're voting on the amendment to the proposal. And I tried to include all of the amendment to the proposal in the highlighted.
Okay, so this is a roll call vote. Michael Goloyu Sr.
Oh, he
Michael
dropped off.
Goloyu Sr. Next, Donna Domingo.
No.
Donna Domingo, no. Richard Oshiro. Richard Oshiro.
No.
Richard Oshiro, no. Martha Randolph.
Yes.
Martha Randolph, yes. Anthony Makana Paris.
Yes.
Anthony Makana Paris, yes. John Chinnen.
Yes.
John Chinnen, yes. Kate Stanley.
no,
Kate Stanley, no. Troy Hashimoto. Troy Hashimoto. Okay, not present. Abby Simmons.
Yes.
Abby Simmons, yes. Linda Chong.
No.
Linda Chong, no. Elizabeth Holmes.
No.
Elizabeth Holmes, no. Elton Fukumoto.
No.
Elton Fukumoto, no. Michael Goloyu Jr.
Yes.
Michael Goloyu Jr., yes. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada, not present. Micah Kalama. Micah Kalama.
Michael Kalama, yes.
Micah Kalama, yes. Anne Freed. Anne Freed, not present. Renee Rabb.
No.
Renee Rabb, no. And then Chair Jesse Suki.
Abstain.
Chair Jesse Suki, abstain. So Chair, you have 6 yeses and 7 nos for the amendment, for the motion.
The motion fails, so we're reverting back to the previous version. Okay, we're back to the previous version of the motion, unamended. Any further discussion on this motion? Seeing none, we need 5 noes to do a roll call. 1,
No,
3, 4, 5. We got 5. Bronson, roll call, please.
Okay, so there's a roll call. Michael Goloyu Sr. Michael Goloyu Sr. Donna Domingo.
No.
Donna Domingo, no. Richard Oshiro.
No.
Richard Oshiro, no. Martha Randolph. Martha Randolph.
I'm sorry, I'm here. I just had a problem getting the thing. This is the one that says all, I just need to be clear because we've had so many changes. This is the one that says all the Democratic Party members residing in the state representative Senate district shall vote using ranked choice voting, but we haven't said how that's going to be paid for. That's not in this one, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's the motion before us.
Okay. So if it's just about how they vote, I'll vote yes.
Okay, Martha Randolph, yes. Anthony McConna Paris.
No.
Anthony McConna Paris, no. John Chinnon.
No.
John Chinnon, no. Kate Stanley.
no,
Kate Stanley, no. Troy Hashimoto. Troy Hashimoto, not present. Abby Simmons.
Yes.
Abby Simmons, yes. Linda Chong.
No.
Linda Chong, no. Elizabeth Holmes.
No.
Elizabeth Holmes, no. Elton Fukumoto.
no,
Elton Fukumoto, no. Michael Goloyu Jr.
No.
Michael Goloyu Jr., no. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada, not present. Micah Kalama.
No.
Micah Kalama, no. Anne Freed. Anne Freed, not present. Renee Rabb.
No.
Renee Rabb, no. And finally, Chair, your vote. Jesse Suki.
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay, Chair, you have 2 yeses and 11 nos and 1 abstention.
Okay, this particular proposal fails. I see Michael Goloyu.
Given the discussion we just had, I highly encourage the convention committee to do something on Friday about ranked choice voting, as well as maybe talking to the membership committee for the next SCC about educating our membership about ranked choice voting, especially since we keep on taking fair votes money.
Thank you. Let's see. We have no more proposals before us, but what we have now is a draft report. I know that, so with the review of the draft report, I'll take non-substantive, grammatical corrections if you have them. Take a look at give me a few, give me a day to clean it up and then go take a look at it. And then for a meeting tomorrow, if there's any grammatical changes, we can go over that. Grammatical non-substantive changes. But before, it's 8:00. But before I hang up, just really quick, Michael, was there there was something that we forgot to strike out?
Yeah, in the second proposal on page 6 of the thing for 5B, the strikeout only went half of the sentence, and so it should have been the complete sentence.
Where is that? 5B?
5B in the first one from the Rules Committee.
5B. Okay. And
yep, it should be the Democratic Party of Hawaii headquarters shall, and then strike out the rest of that sentence because we don't do
Okay.
that and we don't need to do that. And that was the request of the Rules Committee.
Yeah, that was an error. So we need to that wouldn't have made sense. It was a hanging partial of a sentence. Thank you.
Sure.
So that's it for tonight. Our next meeting tomorrow, please take a look at the report. We like to take out all the grammatical errors and make sure that it is actually citing the bylaws the way we're making the changes. I'll take a look. Please do not come to the meeting with substantive changes. We're not doing substantive changes. I don't want to debate substantive changes. It was out of order, so don't do that. We're just looking at non-substantive changes. Okay, thank you. So we'll have a very short meeting.
Yeah, Jesse, if you need me to show up tomorrow, just give me a call because I have another District 27 meeting that is having a very important online meeting at about the same time, and they've asked me to show up. So I will be available to you if you need me to make a quorum. I'll just bow out of that, be with you until things are approved, and then I'll go back to the other one, okay?
Okay. I see DPH has his hand up. Its hand up.
Yeah. Thank you, Chair Suki. I just wanted to note for the committee members, there is a link change, a Zoom link change for tonight or tomorrow's meeting. So it's different than tonight's meeting. Okay. And that has been posted on the convention website, the standing committee's website, and has been shared with the chair and the vice chair. So just go to that if you don't have the link, go to the website. Mahalo.
Thank you. I'll fix the agenda too.
I was going, Jesse, you're going to correct the agenda. So I will erase the agenda I have for tomorrow now. And when you put the new agenda up, we'll get the new link. Is that correct?
Yes, check it tomorrow. I'll do it. I'll do this
will.
Stuff tonight. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
That's all right. Tomorrow's fine. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you very much. And thanks everybody for showing up and having an intelligent discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. It's 8 o'clock. You folks are off the hook. Thank you.
Jesse,
Oh, go ahead, Donna.
I just want to make sure if you're going to update the agenda, could you just put a revised agenda so we know that that is a revised one for tomorrow?
Okay.
So the
Will do.
website, that's just clarified. Thank you.
Yes, we'll do. We'll do. Thank you, everybody.
Mahalo.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.